welcome. Happy Saturday. I am so excited about today's call. I'm just excited every time I get to get around all you awesome people. This is like what we need more than ever right now. You feel me, guys? Like we need our oily community more than ever. I feel I got like a lot of, yes, it's true. I saw that. Yes, it's true. So that's amazing. So we are going to do a Q&A style call because we wanted to know like what you guys want to learn about. We want to hear from you. So we got some really great questions that came in and we decided to do it panel style. So we got some awesome leaders that are going to be answering these questions like really quick for you guys so that you're getting all the meat and potatoes, as we like to call it. Just the good stuff. Actually, maybe the veggies are the good stuff. I don't know. Maybe I messed that up, but we're going to give you the good stuff, guys, the stuff that you need. So yeah, we're going to do that. And then if anything is like burning inside of you that you like really need to know about and you feel like it's not being asked as we finish up the questions that we have so far, put it in the chat box and we will try and get to all of them within the hour. Okay, so don't be shy. We're all here to learn. We're all here to have a good time. Yeah, so what I'm gonna do first is, oh my gosh, and for those who don't know me, my name is Gloria McLean. This is my husband.
I'm Mark.
He's an executive running for silver right now, actually. Yes, so boys, men listening.
With the help of some stat, you betcha.
He's done it all. I don't know what he's saying. I did it. But I'm just saying, if you don't have a spousal account, you should do that. Did you know you can get double incomes? And like, if you forget something on your first ER order, you can pop it on your spouse's ER order. It's amazing. Double the points.
The write-offs.
The write-offs from the men's perspective. Yeah. P.S. You get to write a lot of stuff off. So if you are not doing this as a business, like what are you even doing? I don't even know. So yeah, we've been in this now for 4 years, just over 4 years actually. And my husband was super skeptical when he first started. He called them wizard tears and didn't understand why I was having all these women over in our house and we were smelling oils and drinking wine. And he felt like his house was being taken over.
But
look at him now.
Here I am.
So if you're listening to this and you're like, I wish my spouse would hop on Zooms with me, there's hope. I just wanted to say that there is hope. So we are going to introduce our speakers. I see some of them like smelling their oils. They're getting ready to like shine some light and wisdom on you guys, which is so exciting. So we are going to start with Lauren Wall. And I just want to know, so what's your rank? Where are you from? When did you get your starter kit?
Hey, everyone. So this is my 3-year anniversary this month. So I got started 3 years ago with Young Living, and I am an executive leader. And that is huge for me to say because, yeah, that took a while, but it was something that I really, really wanted. So yeah, I'm an executive leader. I got started just because I fell in love with this community and the people and this lifestyle, and the people that this puts you around are just so positive and so amazing. So that is why I actually got started. It wasn't because I was really, really searching for a toxin-free lifestyle. That kind of was a huge bonus that came along with it, but I really needed the community in my life. So that's why I got started with Young Living, and I live in Salmon Arm, BC. So
yes, Salmon Arm representing.
So
I
good.
love it. Up next we have Austin Brown, and he is going to answer the same questions. How's it going?
Hey everyone, my name is Austin Brown. I'm from Vanderhoof, BC. I got started with Young Living just over 3.5 years ago, back in April 2018. I'm loving the company. The reason I got started was I had just got back from a missions trip from India, saw Adam Green's book on my mother's desk, read it, picked it up, signed up, went and started enrolling people.
You're not unmuted.
It's that powerful, isn't it, Austin? It's good. It's so good.
Oh, I love it.
25 to life.
I just love that Austin is like truly, he's like building his business. So like men, there is a spot for you. Look at him. He's like, I just started like enrolling people. What's the big deal? I love it. Good job. Okay, awesome. Up next, we have Heidi. Where is she? There she is. Good morning, Heidi.
Hi, I'm Heidi. I'm from Kamloops. I am an executive leader. Yeah, what made me got started, I had no intention of doing the business, but after having all these oily wins on myself and my newborn and just feeling empowered as a new mama, having these tools, and I started feeling so good, I just naturally started sharing with the people around me, like, you guys need to know about like this thing that I discovered and you can feel so much better. So I just started sharing really naturally. And then with my maternity coming to an end, I was like, hey, I'm going to take a look at the compensation plan. I don't want to go back to work and leave my little guy. And that's what got me interested in looking at the business side of things.
Love it. I love it. Okay, up next we have Janessa. I don't know if she's here yet. Does anyone see Janessa yet? She was coming in late, so I don't think she's here yet. If I don't see you and you are here, just unmute yourself. She's going to pop in. She's building in Vegas. She lives in Vegas. So I'm excited to hear from her as well, but she told me she's going to be a few minutes late. So next we have Matea. She's joining us from Spain, which is like super crazy, amazing. I really want to visit her. Good morning or good evening. Good evening, Matea.
Yeah, it's good evening. Hi, so I'm Matea. I'm from Austria, and right now I am in Austria. Just for the moment, I'm visiting my family, and I live in Spain on Mallorca. Hopefully, we will all see each other there. And so I started in October last year, 2020, a couple of months ago, and running now for executive. And I'm so grateful because for me, it's like the best decision I made in 2020 to join this community. So yeah, thank you all.
My gosh, I love that so much. Best decision that came out of 2020,
Yeah.
right? I have to say, like, this oily community was my greatest blessing in 2020, right? Who feels that? Like, they were just like, whoo, you guys were like a ray of sunshine in my life. All right, so now that I've done the introductions, I'm just going to ask the questions. They're all just going to unmute themselves in the order so that we can just like get through it. So what were the first steps? Did we skip Jen? We missed Jen somehow. Oh my gosh, Jen. Let's hear from Jen. I missed you somehow. Hello, Jen Burton.
Hey guys, sorry, I was like, oh, that's good. We're good. That's all fine. But yeah, my name is Jen Burton. I am a gold brand partner with Young Living. I have been doing this since October of 2017. And I got started with the business basically through a good friend of mine, Angela Bacchus. I am a dental hygienist, as is she. And I was like, okay, at first these oils and everything kind of sounded woo-woo, but when she actually sat down and explained the business to me, I was already looking at another career. I was $80,000 in student debt, didn't want to go back to school for another 4 years and accrue a bunch of other debt. So for me to hear that in 4 years, I could apply myself really, really hard at this and be able to have an income that is not capped, I wouldn't have to accrue all that student debt and all the time to go back to school again. I could make money from home buying natural products and swapping them out, transfer buying my stuff, having all the tax write-offs, and building a community of people that are also empowered to do the same. I am somebody that is unemployable in the regular workforce because I'm always going above and beyond and trying for more. I never felt appreciated as an employee. So this was like my battleground to actually do more and be able to empower other people to do this.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So good. And it's so true. It's just like going back to school for 4 years is exactly the way that I looked at it. I was going to treat it like I just invested like $80,000. And the fact that we get to like make money while we're learning at this, I don't like, that's freaking cool. That's really cool. So I love that. All right. And I see that Janessa just popped in. So I'm going to let her introduce herself, when she got started, what her rank is. I told everyone you live in Vegas already. Sorry. Because it's just so cool. I did see her pop in. Oh, there she is.
Yep.
Hi, Janessa.
I'm here. Hi, I'm Janessa. I live in Las Vegas. I am currently a senior star. I got started about, I think it was 6 months ago. And when I started, I dove right into the business right away. Even though I had no idea how it worked, I just thought, why not? And at my current job, my hours were being cut a little bit, and I thought, well, I could use some extra money. Who doesn't need extra money? So I dove right in. I studied. The biggest thing for me is I dove into events and studied what my leaders were doing so that I knew exactly what to do and how to build my business. So I didn't let myself stop me. So I just dove in and went for it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I just went to events and listened to all the people rocking it so that I didn't have to like guess, right? Like, yes, right there. Okay, call's done. You guys just learned. We're good. No, I'm just kidding. So all of you people who are like taking time out of your Saturday morning and you're here right now learning, you're winning. I just want to say that because so many people make excuses, but like this is your dream and you're here. So like give yourselves a little pat on the back. Okay, I'm going to let my husband ask the first question and then we're going to go in the order that I gave you guys. Okay, we're good.
Okay, well, so what made you decide to do
Oh.
the business in the first place?
Oh, no, we kind of answered
What?
that.
Okay, what were the first steps you took?
Yeah, what were the first steps you took when you decided to build?
So my first steps that I took when I started building was just to go to as many classes as I possibly could, like get out there and figure out what it was all about. Obviously, like using all the products, using all the products so that I understood what they were about. I was a product of the product. That was huge too. And then just getting to all the events too. Like obviously right now we don't have any in-person events, but we still have lots of online stuff, which is amazing. So get to those events. They are huge. They build so much growth and belief. And like do the personal development that comes along with it too. So if you have a book that's suggested, like read that. Just look at those people that are successful and follow in their footsteps.
So in the very beginning, when I got started, the first steps that I took was to go and talk with the people that I was closest to. And I started sharing with them the benefits of essential oils, why we should be talking about this stuff and why we should be talking about the chemicals that are in our food, that's in our products, and why it's so important that we find something better. That was one of the main things in my job. That's where I first started, the people that I was working with, and I just shared with them. And from there on, it kind of just spread out like a wildfire of people joining my team. More and more came on. And those are the steps I took, just honestly sharing.
Okay, so what are the first steps I took? Like I said, my maternity leave was coming to an end, and I was already sharing supernaturally. So I'm like, okay, I went into member resources and I started digging into all those things. I started studying the compensation plan and I was like, this is looking really good. Like, is this legit? And then right off the get-go, I just said yes to hosting a class. I had some people over in my living room. I didn't even run it. I just said yes to my upline coming over and doing class for me. My first paycheck was $257 from that first month of saying yes. And that was like, okay. So started going to events. I reached out to leaders like Lisa and Dana, and I was like, put me in coach. Like, here I am. I'm Heidi. I want to do this thing. Yeah, events were huge. Seeing other people, like real people, do this thing, and that instilled a ton of belief in me. And I read the 4-year career early on, and that was like, okay, yeah, like I'm gonna give this 4 solid years. 4 years, I'm gonna do this thing. So yeah.
So for me, the first steps I took, well, when I ordered the starter kit, right away the people were asking about the diffuser in my home, my neighbors and everyone. So I just got them a starter kit as well. So that was quite exciting in the first month. Everyone asking about it, and afterwards, where it was just sharing about everything I was learning and sharing about the product, how I'm using it with everyone I was talking to. So yeah, that was quite the beginning of my journey.
And what I did in the beginning was like I said, I plugged into all the events. I got on every call I could, all the team calls every week, any 101s. But what really what got me going was doing my first 101, because I felt like I had to get out of my comfort zone a little bit and just get that first one out of the way. And now, I do them weekly, and it's just like something that comes so naturally. And why wouldn't I want to share something that I truly believe in doing? So yeah, getting that first 101, I think I did it maybe a couple weeks after I signed up, and I just dove right in.
In my first steps, I definitely took massive action. I was huge on looking at all the resources that everybody was providing in the groups. So I binge read GoPro by Eric Worre, Game Plan by Sarah Harnish, 4-Year Career by Richard Blissbrook, and I read the 25 to Life book by Adam Green. And I actually, at the beginning, gave every single person that enrolled with me that book because it was so powerful. And we had massive action as a collective group right off the hop because people saw what the actual compensation plan was and what this could allow in somebody's life. And we were doing about 3 to 4 classes a week, and we still continue to do about that many. And it's not, again, necessarily that I am hosting the 3 to 4 classes. I am helping my downline, or I'm helping Crossline, or I'm hosting them myself. But that did not mean that I was necessarily having people in my home 3 to 4 times a week. I was helping other people and getting them paychecks so that they can see the vision as well.
Oh my gosh, I love that. And being around, like, the consistency is what is going to build your momentum. You guys, like, all of your answers, just so beautiful. I think it's one of the most important questions to ask, because so many people want to get started that are on our team that are watching this video, and they just don't know what the first move is. So, like, read the books, get to the classes, get out of your comfort zone and just do your dang class already, because you're never going to feel ready, right? Like, you're just never going to feel ready. And for me, when I first got started, nobody said yes to me. I didn't have that like warm market where everybody was just in. And you know what? I actually think it's one of the biggest blessings that happened to me, because I had to learn how to be professional. I had to learn how to talk to people outside of my warm market. And so I just was so coachable. I was reading all the books, just like they said, and I was going to classes anyway, even though I didn't have anyone to bring. I was just going to learn, and I was watching and seeing, like, how are they doing it? Like, how's the setup? What's the flow like? And I was learning. And the beautiful thing, guys, because I did that, when I finally had someone say yes to me, I had built all these beautiful cross-line relationships, and they all came to my first class when I finally had someone say yes. So it wasn't just me sitting there awkwardly telling somebody why they should get this kit. I had a room full of people that were like cheering for me and like telling them why they loved it too. And so cross-line relationships are beautiful. If you feel like you don't have anybody, dude, I've been there. Just like get in anyway, just like get in the action, get around the people doing it. It's going to change your vibe, and it's going to like just bring goodness into your life. So amazing answers.
Just to add to that a little bit. So what I also see here out of everybody's response is such a diversity of everybody's story. Like, this really isn't just for moms or for like, just to think of that in that pigeonholed way, which I had in the past. Clearly here today with what everybody's answers have been, show the diversity of the utility of this company and the products.
Yeah. And I just love that every single person took their own action. They weren't waiting for somebody to come and like make them read the books or make them go to the event. Like Heidi said, put me in, coach. Yeah. She wasn't in the background waiting like, is somebody going to ask me to come? How come nobody's asking me? She's like, no, like, put me in, get me in there. And I love that, because it's up to us. That's it. It's up to us. It's our business. It's our success. Don't wait for somebody to come and ask you. Okay. So that's just like, yes. And with anything in life, Jen's like, don't wait for permission. Okay. I love it. So next question. And I love this one too. What blocks or block, if you've only had one, good for you if that's the case, what block have you hit and how have you overcome it in your journey? So there is a thing in this journey that we do have to like overcome some stuff to rise up, right? You can't rise when you're holding stuff down. So we're going to start with Lauren again. Oh, Lauren's got her baby. Look at these moms rocking it today and dads.
So I definitely have had a few blocks along the way, but two of my biggest blocks were I lacked a lot of self-belief in myself. Like I definitely didn't just know that I could do it. There's a lot of self-doubt that went along with it. So personal development is huge in getting rid of that self-belief, as well as like small goals. So set small goals for yourself that you can accomplish. And every time you accomplish one of those small goals, that just grows your self-belief that you can do it. So keep setting those little goals as well as the big ones, but those little ones are so important. And then my other thing was I actually got stuck at STAR for almost 2 years. And it was pretty much 2 years exactly. And I went to a retreat. So if you ever get invited to a retreat, anything like that, go, just say yes, figure it out. But I went and we talked through a lot of those blocks, but I realized that I had set I'd said I wanted to be able to do a class, have confidence, and I wanted a community of people. Well, I had that, and I never set new visions or new goals for myself. And so I was stuck there because I had it and I never dreamed any bigger than that. So when I finally sat down and made a new vision for myself and figured that out, I grew exponentially in the next like couple months. So that was huge for me. Write down your goals, write down your visions, and always be dreaming bigger and make new ones.
My biggest block was when I moved away from my hometown Kamloops. I moved to a very small town called Vanderhoof. There's about 4,000 people. And my block was that I didn't know really anyone here. That was not true. I knew people at my work. I knew people from church. So just that block of not taking that action because I felt like I didn't know anyone here. But once I started talking to people and getting to know people and stepping out of my comfort zone, that was the big thing. I had to step out of my comfort zone and share about these essential oils, because in my brain, I was thinking these people are going to think I'm so weird. I'm this young guy that moved up here and is sharing on essential oils and how they can change your life. And so in my brain, I was hearing that that's really weird. Why would you do that, right? And I had to overcome those thoughts, and I had to just step out of my comfort zone and share with the people of Vanderhoof and people at my work, and just really rise above that. The biggest thing I did to overcome that situation was a lot of personal development. I listened to Ed Milet, Grant Cardone, Eric Worre, Richard Blissbrook, and Adam Green to overcome those.
Okay, so some blocks I had in the beginning was anxiety and was nerves and self-doubt and fear. You guys, like when I was in university and I'd have to do 5-minute presentations, like I literally would black out, like white knuckling the like up at the front of the class, and I'm like, okay, I passed, great, like whew. So when I started doing class, I just put all this unnecessary pressure on myself to know all the things, and it just like I was so nervous, white knuckling my script, and just felt like I needed to be the smartest person in the room to share this lifestyle and oils with people and know all the things. But for myself, I just had to debunk that and decide that I was going to do it anyways. Host that first class. Just keep saying yes, 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 yes to go to this class, yes to go to this event. Get out of your comfort zone and just keep saying yes, and it gets better. Just keep doing it. Yeah, like my passion for sharing this lifestyle and sharing the benefits for people, and my why, right? I wanted to stay home with my son. I wanted to make this a real thing. That way outweighed my anxiety, my nerves, my fears. It had to. So yeah.
Yeah, for me, well, the first block at the beginning was because I'm a yoga teacher, and everybody says that it's quite not easier, but maybe people are more likely to get to like the oils in this community. So for me, it was quite a huge challenge to integrate them, because at the beginning, I had no idea how to do it, not to be too maybe pushy and in talking so much about oils and like forgetting about the yoga maybe. So that's something I had to deal with it. And also like the first classes I was doing, in my first classes, no one showed up, in like the first one. And that was also something I had to, well, overcome it. And I had a lot of help from my upline as well. And so that was a huge help, and personal development, of course, just keep showing up.
My biggest roadblocks were, like I said earlier, getting out of my comfort zone and just diving in. So I think my first handful of 101s, I had the script out and I was reading the script because I didn't know everything at the beginning. You just won't know everything at the beginning. I studied all my leaders. I read that script. I looked into each oil and what they did. So I just gained as much knowledge as I could. Also, another roadblock is when people say no. I'm like, oh, I have no one to say yes. No one's coming. No one's coming. And always remember, no for now doesn't mean no forever. Keep them, write a list of all the people that you are thinking about that you want to help, change their life, really. And keep that list in your head. And the biggest thing to get over any hurdle for me is looking at my why, having a really strong why you're doing it, and sticking to that why and looking at it. I have mine right in front of me so that every time I sit down, I am looking at it, and I have my vision board, and those are just help me get past some of those hurdles.
So some luck for me during this journey have definitely been comparison mode was one of the bigger ones that I came across fairly early. I had hit silver in 9 months, so I thought that that was pretty impressive. And then we went to Silver Retreat, and we had heard a lady that was up there speaking that had hit diamond in 9 months. So I was just like, whoa, right? Like that's intense. So as soon as you hear that, you get in your head, right? However, you don't know everybody's backstory, right? This lady went up there and was like, I have actually been building my social media platform for about 5 years prior to me joining Young Living. So you guys think that I hit diamond in 9 months when really this has taken me five plus years to actually grow that following that nobody saw behind the scenes. And now I've gone into something to actually monetize what I was building online the last 5 years. So when you sit there and you're looking at other people ranking up and all that stuff, you have no idea what their story is, what their background is, none of that. So literally comparison mode, I've just learned, put your head down, blinders on, don't focus on what everybody else is doing, right? Everybody has their own agendas. I'm somebody that's a single person. I don't have kids. I don't have a husband. I don't have all that stuff that's extra, right? So when people look at me and maybe how I'm building and they have 3 children at home, I mean, my business is going to look completely different than your business. So really making sure that you don't get stuck in that comparison mode, put your blinders on, like I said, head down. Don't worry about what other people are doing. That's with life in general, right? Also just judgment of others. I remember, especially when we had to pivot to more of an online presence, I remember being like, oh my goodness, all my friends are going to be like, what is she doing? This is weird. Like they already knew that I was hosting classes and stuff, but just having to get out of my head about what others would think about what I'm doing. Because I think a lot of us get trapped in that, well, I don't want to show up on social media, or I don't want to get in front of people because of what my friends might think or my family might think. Who cares, right? Like do the personal development to get yourself confident enough in what you're doing and your life. Don't worry about what other people are doing. They have enough things to worry about. Nobody's worrying about you. So just really making sure that you do the personal development that you need to get that confidence that judgment of others isn't an issue.
Yes to all of these answers. I love it. You guys are just rocking this. I wanted to share one of my blocks because it is a little bit different, but I know there's probably somebody else who feels this way. But like my block was fear of success. Does anyone else like struggle with that? Does anyone? Yes. Okay. So I'm not alone. I had the fear of standing out or people thinking I was better than, or once I made money, I would lose friends. Do you know what I mean? Because in school, we're taught like, stay in line with everyone else. And if you stand out, you're ridiculed, made fun of, or get in trouble from the teacher, right? So as adults, we can have this fear of like standing out. We have a fear of being different. We have a fear. And so that was a block that I had to get over. And like, it just ties in so perfectly with what Jen just said is, you know, I had this fear of like posting like of the family that's maybe not as supportive as my dad's side of the family, but the family that wasn't as supportive, like, what are they going to think if I share this, or they're going to be rolling their eyes or making fun of me or laughing. And then I was like, first of all, I don't even want them on my team. So why am I posting to appease people that I don't even want on the team? I'm going to post to the people that I want to attract. So like, that was like a huge thing for me just to realize like, okay, who am I speaking to? And why am I playing small for people that it doesn't really matter in the long run, right? So that is one of the blocks that I had to get over. So yeah, I'm going to let you ask the next question. So this one.
So did you always see executive or
And beyond.
and
Okay.
beyond, or did your belief grow with you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, Lauren kind of answered this a little bit,
Yeah.
but dig in a little further.
Yeah, so like I said, I lacked a lot of self-belief. When I started, I always knew that I wanted to be RCD, but wanting something and actually believing that you can do it are completely separate. So I wanted RCD, but actually believing in myself was not there. If I look back at the start, I don't even think I could say I could see myself as like an executive or even a silver leader. So now being executive, and like doing the personal development, the belief has grown. So I can see myself as a gold leader. I can see that for myself. And I think now being further in and also understanding what it means and what that takes, that helps too. But you'll get there. If you just keep going, putting one foot in front of the other, you will get there, and that belief will grow all the way with you.
You guys, I cannot wait for Royal Crown Diamond. I've always seen myself at Royal Crown Diamond, but for the reasons of the amount of people that rank means, that this team has helped. And that's why I'm so excited for Royal Crown Diamond. If you need some motivation to see yourself at Royal Crown Diamond, I really encourage you to go and read Adam Green's book, 25 to Life. It lit a fire under me when I first started in the very beginning. That's all I have to say.
Okay, so when I first started, I had $2,000 a month in my mind. I didn't know the ranks, I didn't know anything like that, but I thought, okay, $2,000 a month as a stay-at-home mom doing this thing, like that's close to what I was making full-time working before. That was the number in my head. And Lisa made me realize like that's silver, that's doable. I'm like, okay, this is a thing, these are the steps. So I dreamed past executive right from the get-go without even knowing it. But then I just recently realized that in itself was kind of a blocker for me because I never dreamed past silver. And I never looked at the steps to get to gold, to get to platinum. I never did that. And so just recently, I think it was Angela Backus in one of the 12 Days of Diamonds, that was like, oh my gosh, I've never dreamed past silver. And I've just been sitting, riding that executive forever, and I haven't hit it yet. So now I'm like, okay, well, that's just a stepping stone. Like, how do I get to gold? How do I get to platinum? And yeah, so that was just a big mind shift for me just recently. Yeah. And the belief grows as you do, totally, 100%. Like, the person I was when I first started doing these classes, like shaking, I still get nervous doing this kind of stuff. But it's just every time you do it, it gets easier. You build that confidence. So yeah, just keep going.
Yeah, for me, when I started, well, I had already in my mind that I would get one day to Royal Crown Diamond. So it's like a road for me, just taking it there, taking those little steps and taking it really like rank by rank and seeing maybe, I don't know, I can see for now, I can see silver maybe or gold, but not more than it. But it's like for me, just taking those steps. And I think like the personal development is something it's very, very important to me, so I can just see it and like feel it really. So for the moment, it's like taking those steps. But yeah, from the beginning when I started the business, it was for me like for sure never to give up.
For me, at the beginning, I had no idea what each rank was. So as I dove in, learned the business, studied the compensation, really got into, toxin-free living. I am so passionate about helping everyone have that lifestyle. So RCD is something I envision every single day, and I try to take all the steps to get there, the personal development, the vision casting, dreaming really big, because if you don't dream big enough, you won't grow to that spot you want in your life. So RCD is where I'm headed.
Did I always see exec or higher? Abso-freaking-lutely. Where are my overachievers at? Because like anything I do, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to do amazing. Like it's a thing. So if you're not at that point, I mean, that's where personal development comes in, right? Have that confidence. Know that that's something that's going to happen for you. I always knew, this is going to sound really weird, but I always knew that I was going to be very successful in life. I just didn't know how that was going to pan out and what vehicle it was that I was going to be able to make millions of dollars and help millions of people. And literally this like fell into my lap after I had asked for a change. And this is very similar to, like, I think Angela Backus made a post about this. Like sometimes when you ask for things, you're not given the exact thing, but you're given all the ingredients for you to make that, right? So you might be asking for a cake. Universe is like, here's all the ingredients, get to work, right? So yes, I definitely have always seen exec or higher. Diamonds on my radar for the next few years. And yeah, just really making sure that you're doing all the personal development you need to really get the confidence to know that you are worth it and you are going to achieve everything that you want to in life.
Boom goes the dynamite. I love it. Yeah, dude, absolutely. For me, I was like, I'm going to make as much as I do at my job. And then I thought $8,333 a month would be really cool, because that would be $100,000 a year. And then I hit that and I was like, okay, well, we're going to really do this. So what I'm hearing from all of you guys is that it all comes down to your belief in yourself. Right? Is like your income matches your belief. Okay. Like I just heard this on a book that I'm listening to called The One Thing by Gary Keller. And he's like, this guy came to America with $200 in his pocket. And he was like, I'm going to be the fastest growing, highest earning entrepreneur in America. And people laughed at him. And then he came out with some email. I can't remember now. I think it was one of the emails that took off, and he ended up being like the fastest growing. And people were like, this guy's belief in himself. Like he just was like, yes, walking into rooms like, I'm going to own it. Like I'm going to talk to whoever. He had $200 in his pocket when he moved, and he crushed it because he believed in himself. So like, this is why the personal development is so huge, you guys, because it's going to build that fire. It's going to build that confidence. It's going to grow your skills. And when we grow our skills, we gain confidence, which grows our belief, right? So beautiful. Loved every single answer. So good. And that just like ties us right in. And I mean, we've all touched on it as it goes, but just like, how important has personal development been for you? Because I think so many times people in this journey just like, they take all the action, but they don't think they need like to take their personal development as seriously in this business. They can like read a book and then they're good. So like, how important has it been for you?
Personal development has been like, I wouldn't be where I am without personal development, period. I just wouldn't be there. Like Flo said, action is so important too, but they go together. So if you don't take personal development and action at the same time, you're not going to get anywhere. I think it was at GoPro, one of the speakers said, personal development is your left foot and action is your right foot, and you just take action, you're going to go around in one circle. But if you just take personal development, same thing, you're just going to go in a circle. So you have to do them together, one foot in front of the other, and you'll get where you want to go.
Personal development for me has been huge. I actually really love personal development. Like for Christmas, I asked for personal development books. And one of the things that really, with personal development, had me thinking I was working on my Young Living business was I was reading all these personal development books, but not taking the action that was in those books. So exactly like Lauren said there, you need to be taking action after you read a personal development book. You need to follow through with what they say in order to be successful.
Yeah, definitely finding a balance between action and personal development. Like they have to go hand in hand. Personal development, I definitely work to be or strive to be better in that department. But when I'm on top of it, when I'm reading my books and doing the things, listening to the podcast, hopping on the calls, and not even just Young Living stuff, it's just like when I'm drinking my water, when I'm doing yoga, when I'm getting outside and getting fresh air, when I'm taking care of me, personal development, like just like writing in my gratitude journal, when I start the day like that, my day is just so much better. Yeah, so it's huge. And I love the saying, like you grow into the leader you need to be. Like had it just like plopped onto your lap and you were like, boom, Royal Crown Diamond, you wouldn't learn all those lessons that you need to along the way to fall and stumble and get through it. You grow into the leader you need to be. And I just have that belief. And personal development is huge.
Yeah, to me, it's like the same as Heidi just told, like the 50-50%, like 50% the personal development and 50% the IPAs and the action that you are taking every day. And for me, it's helping me so much just to grow every day and see things differently and believe in myself. And also it helped me a lot how to invite people to classes. That's something, some because I was into, and also how to close a class, for example. Yeah, so that was very huge for me. Just I think it's like at least 50% of.
For me, in the beginning, I was diving into all the calls, the events, which was awesome. It was helping me grow, but I wasn't doing like the podcast or the reading yet. Even though people were telling me, and I was like, oh, I don't have time to read. Everyone has time to read. I now do all the things, and I have changed so much, not only in my Young Living business. I feel like I'm a better mother, a better friend. Just overall, it's so hard to even explain because I just feel I've grown so much in such a, I mean, really a short, I've been with Young Living 6 months, a short period of time, and the growth is just going to continue from there. Listen to your leaders, listen to what you're listening to, reading, and putting that action, taking the action. So yeah, personal development is huge. It's so huge.
Personal development has been life-changing for myself. Just living intentionally and stop breaking promises to yourself. If you keep breaking them to yourself, who else is going to ever take you seriously, right? So holding yourself accountable, all that kind of stuff, just really being intentional with everything that you're doing, whether that be Young Living, your workplace, your relationships, your family, everything. Personal development is something that is never going to go away. It's always going to come with you in whatever journey that you go from here on, right? You're never going to lose that information. So there's never a downside to building yourself up and working on yourself. And this is literally a business that pays you to better yourself. It's crazy. So personal development has been huge, is huge. Everybody should be doing it regardless if they're building a Young Living business or not. You're just going to be such a better person, spouse, employee, any of those things, right? So definitely a thing that should be of utmost importance for everybody.
Oh my gosh, yes to all of this. Like, I truly believe that we are here, like acorn to the oak tree. Everything we need is already like inside of us. And our job is to just grow into like the mightiest, tallest, like best version of ourselves. So, like, be obsessed with your own potential. Even like if there was no paycheck attached to it, be obsessed with your own potential and who you can become while you are on this earth. Like, it's so exciting. And the person I am today, like, man, I wouldn't trade that for anything. It's probably my favorite thing that has come out of Young Living is the person that I have become, because it has like, it's changed me. Like 2020, when so many people were panicked and freaked out and all this stuff, like I stood so firm in my faith. I stood so firm in who I am and like what my abilities are and how I can provide and what I can do. Like, oh my gosh, it is just like, it's everything. It's so, and it just like, do it for you. Do it for you. And yes, like the person that you get to become, which is like, I believe we're here to grow into like that highest, grandest, most beautiful version of us. And I think it was Ed Milet. I can't remember right now. If I'm wrong, it's okay. But when you go to heaven, he says, you meet the person you were supposed to become while you were on earth. Are you going to be disappointed or are you going to be high-fiving that person? Like, are you going to look at that person and go, oh man, I messed up. I should have like tried harder. I should have grown more. I should have used the gifts that God gave me. Right? Sorry, go ahead.
That's all good. I was just going to add with the personal growth, like I've said to Glow many times on this journey, this is my favorite version of our time together, of the person that you are, you know, like we've been together for 16 years. And it just always ends up being something better because it is intentional. So on the personal development side, I would have to say that outside of even Young Living or whichever, when you get a chance or you do take on personal development, you find purpose rather than just letting time pass. Like, it's all great that we get up, we do our thing, we go to our jobs, we do whatever. That gets to be a very habitual habit that you just get stuck into something over years. You know, 10 years will go by and you'll be like, what did I do? When you start looking into personal development, asking yourself those questions, it gives you purpose. It lets you find more decisions or more answers about yourself to live what Glow was just saying. Who are you going to meet in heaven? Who are you going to meet when you get there and high five? So that's my take.
Oh my gosh, so good. Look at this guy. Yay, Mark. I think you're ready for silver now. I think he is. I think.
Trying to get there, guys.
Oh my gosh, so good.
I'm getting there.
You are getting
Words.
there. No trying.
Words.
Ew, try is a lie. Everybody say it with me. Try is a lie. Your words matter, by the way. The words you speak over your life and your business, just so you know, okay? The words that you speak have like a vibrational, and they bring back whatever you say. So if you say like, I can't, I won't, I'll try, those are all low vibe words, and they're just like attracting back like, meh, meh, meh. So speak life over yourself, speak life over your business, over your team. Like, I'm attracting so many builders. My business is on fire. I have more RCDs than any other team. Yes, check out Conscious Language by Sonia Swanson on YouTube. See, personal development, you guys, changes your life. Okay. Go.
So what's the biggest lesson for you so far?
That you've learned so far?
Thanks, Glow.
You're welcome, Mark. I know you love to be corrected. We're going to do some personal development after this.
All right. So biggest lessons for me so far, consistency is key. So if you don't do anything in your business consistently, you are not going to grow. And then just keep going. Like, so when I was at Star for 2 years, I could have quit so many times, and that just wasn't something that I was going to do. If I quit, I wouldn't be an executive leader that I am now. So just keep going. Somebody once said to me, if you only grew 1 rank per year, you would still be an RCD in, is it 7 or 8 years? Anyways, but whatever, that I'm still getting to RCD no matter what. It's just a journey that I have to be on.
Biggest lesson that I've learned so far is that we need community. After 2020 came around and we experienced all that craziness that happened, we need a community of these people. The friendships that developed through 2020 because of being on social media and putting yourself out there, creating this community has been huge. This community we have right here is so positive and amazing. And that is one thing that I'm learning to implement into my team. And that's one of the biggest things that I took away.
Yeah, community has been huge just on that, like just having this community to lean into in such like an unknown crazy year, and just like having these people all feed into, pour into you, and keep like vibing high and positivity to just like have and be surrounded in, like that was amazing. It's like kind of like you didn't even really know if you didn't watch the news, like you didn't really know what was going on. But biggest lesson I have learned so far is not being perfect is actually perfect. That you want to show that anybody can do this, and that you're human, and that you're going to make mistakes, and that is just taking so much pressure off me that yeah, not being perfect is actually perfect. Duplication.
Yeah, for me, the biggest lesson is definitely not to give up. So, because that's something I have already experienced, like with people I personally enrolled in doing the business, or people just disappearing, and just, yeah, stay consistent and not to give up during months and years, and always.
One of the biggest lessons I've learned is that with anything, there are peaks and there are valleys. But it's up to you to not let those valleys stop you or discourage you from moving forward. So when I hit a valley, which I have, I look and see, like, why am I hitting that valley? Do I need more personal growth? Do I need community? What do I need, and what action do I need to take to change it? So don't let those valleys or someone telling you no, or whatever it is with your business or in life, stop you from who you want to become.
Some of the biggest lessons I have learned so far, the biggest one is patience. I am not a patient person. I don't like to wait for things. I want them right now, like all the time. So I have to really keep reminding myself this is a 4-year career, Jen, 4-year career, right? You're not going to be able to quit my job and do all the things I want to do in less than that, right? Just being consistent and really having the patience and all that to endure the ebbs and flows of this industry, because again, sales is like that in any industry. You're going to have really good months in sales. You're going to have some that are a little bit lesser, right? So just knowing that as long as you're maintaining some sort of growth, and if you look back and reflect from where you are now, from where you were a year from now, like there's growth, right? So, I mean, just learning patience and learning that the people that get you to each rank are going to be different. So not getting discouraged and not thinking that nobody wants to do this. The people that help you get to star are typically not going to be the same people that run with you to gold, and you can't drag dead bodies. Okay. So everybody that's new that's coming into your organization is like a new exciting chance for you to have a new running buddy with, or something like that, right? So just not getting discouraged when people maybe quit or go into witness protection program or don't want to do it anymore. Really staying as confident as you can in the business model and doing it for you and for helping others.
So this call is fire. Who thinks this call is fire? Like, this advice, you guys, is so good. Share this with all of your people, especially like brand new people. This is like everything that, like, don't you wish you knew when you very first started, like all this great advice in 1 hour, just boom. Okay. I just wanted to share like the best piece of advice I've learned 4 years in is to be a lighthouse and not a tugboat. Grow on yourself. You be about that action. You got to be the hardest working person on your team. If you're going around being a tugboat trying to like drag, like Jen said, you're trying to drag people, you're trying to get people to show up, you're trying to get them to do work, but they don't want to, like, it's just, that is dragging you down into such a low vibe. And sometimes you want this so bad for people, but they're not showing up. They're not hopping on the calls. They're not being consistent. And it's not up to you to keep going and trying to like drag them out of the murky waters. You're going to stand there so tall, bright. You're going to keep pouring into yourself. You're going to keep taking that action. You're going to be where they look at you and they're inspired by you to take that action. They come to you because you're consistent. So I think the whole thing people get trapped in is management mode in this business. Like, and maybe if you're brand new, that's not you yet. And that's great that you're not there yet. But for when it happens to people, they get stuck because they're trying to like run everyone else's business and make sure everyone's doing the things. It's like, you got to do the things. You got to keep doing the things. You got to be about that action. You got to be the hardest working person on your team. And then they'll see you and they'll be inspired by that. Okay. So don't drag people like Jen said. So that is beautiful. Okay. Last one. If you could go back to the very beginning and give yourself one piece of advice, what would it be?
That's a tough one. I guess I would just tell myself to take action no matter how imperfect it is. That's something that I didn't do at the start, was take a lot of action because I was so worried about what people would think and self-doubt and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just take the action no matter how imperfect it is. You will continue to grow and learn from it.
I would have told 18-year-old self Austin to become so laser focused with your goal. Become so laser focused that it makes your heart beat when you hear your goal. And so that way you have the energy to carry you to that goal.
Okay, so I would tell myself, kind of going on the not being perfect is perfect, is you do not need to know all the things. It is okay. It's actually better that you don't know all the things. Like my classes used to drag on for way too long. Just keep them short, keep them simple. Anybody can do it, whether you know all the things or not. You don't need to share it all. Just like keep it short and sweet and just do it. The person you're going to become along this journey is worth it alone.
Yeah, for me, it would be definitely doing classes earlier, because I started doing classes like after 2.5 months, more or less. Or I think, yeah, 2. And so say to myself, just start doing classes right.
For me, if I was to go back, I think I would tell myself to dive into the personal development a little bit more, because it didn't happen right away. Like I said, I was jumping into the calls. Hold on, honey. But listening to podcasts, reading books, things like that, I would have told myself to do that right away, right from the get-go.
And mine would definitely be to not take things so personally. So I think at the beginning, I definitely had like a few people drop off, or you offer them the kit and they don't want it, and to not take that personally. You never know what's going on with other people. A good analogy of that is I've been a server before, and I would never take it personally when I offered a table dessert and they said no, right? It's just like, oh, okay, they don't want dessert, not a big deal. Next table, like, you guys want dessert or you want tea or coffee, like to increase your bill, basically, is what you're trying to do, right? And to serve your people. If they don't want it, don't get offended. Like, it's not for everybody. And I think people need to understand that it isn't for everybody. The products aren't for everybody. The opportunity's not for everybody. It's there if they want it, but to not get offended and take things so personally when other people don't want to join you. And it's not that they don't want to join you forever. It just might not be right now that works for them. So keep on it, and just, again, don't take things personally.
Oh my gosh, I love that so much. That is the biggest thing. And somebody actually asked a question kind of along these lines, like, what do you do if people are like cutting down Young Living, or if they're making fun of what you do? What Jen just said, you guys, we are not in the convincing business. If people don't want to hear about it, they're not your people. We're not here to convince anybody. We're here for the people that want it. And I've said this on so many calls, but like the people who make chocolate in the world are not wasting their time going around trying to convince the people who love salt to come over to the chocolate side. They're just making chocolate for the people who dang love chocolate like me. And I appreciate that there. I also love salt, so like whatever. But I'm just saying, like, if you're trying to convince somebody, you're in the wrong room. You're in the wrong room. Talk to the people who want what you have, who are excited about what you have. You don't ever have to like convince anyone. If they're making fun of it, cool, good for you. Bye. I'll be over here making all this money and enjoying how good I feel. Enjoy being over there, right?
Well,
yeah, bye. Love it.
Not only that, I mean, I think you're a perfect example of just being that lighthouse, right? Where, you know, even if the people or family that say they don't believe you, they think it's all a joke or whatever, you just keep doing you and keep getting more and more awesome, filling up your cup and being that lighthouse. Why? Because there's nothing they can say to you. Your life keeps getting better. They stay stuck where they're at. All you can do is keep blowing yourself up and being like, what now, guys?
Oh my gosh, I love it. There's this saying where there is an eagle flying and these crows are trying to like get on the eagle's back and like attack it. So what does the eagle do? Does he fight the crow? No, he just keeps rising higher and higher and higher, because then eventually the crow can't breathe anymore, but the eagle can, because the eagle's built to like rise up. And so the crows eventually just like fall off because they're like, oh, it's not even bugging this guy. He's just like rising up. That's our job. Just keep rising above. And eventually the crows are gonna just like fall right off. And now they don't bug me anymore. Now some of them are asking me what I'm doing. So, and I'm here to help them when they're ready. So there's that. I love this. And those are the questions we had today, guys. Before I let you all go though, I just wanted to ask a question. This is just like a raise your hand question to the panelists that are on the call. I didn't tell them I was doing this, but I just want to show anybody who's new and who's maybe experiencing this and thinking like, maybe I'm just not good at this, or maybe this isn't for me. So I want you to raise your hand if you've had more no-shows than shows for classes. Okay. I want you to raise your hand if you've lost somebody you thought would be on this journey with you forever. Okay. I want you to raise your hand if you started building a leg and then that leg died out. Okay. But you kept going, and now look at you all. See? So if you're experiencing any of this stuff, just keep going, okay? Mwah! We love you all. I hope this call like gave you some encouragement today, gave you some fire in your belly to like go out and chase those dreams.
No, awesome.
Oh,
Thank you. Thank you for giving us your time today. This has been awesome.
Yeah, thank you to all the speakers.
Yeah.
We love you all. Have a great weekend, everybody. Mwah! Bye. So good. We love you all. This is so fun. Yay, Saturdays.